I have a pledge, and then we'll have a moment of silence for John Vandermolen, Ranger, start at the Town of Walker Golf Course. Deborah Weaver, former branch manager of Orange Bank and Trust Company on Short Road. Thomas Weeks, father-in-law of Councilman Steve Vanella. Welcome tonight. As I always meeting. Let's start with public participation on agenda items only. Anyone else on the Zoom? Any, Madam Deputy Clerk, any correspondence? Okay. We start with the resolution, Deputy Clerk.
Resolution of the town board of the town of Baltimore appointing a part-time police officer. Resolution of the town board of the town of Walker appointing a part-time police officer. Now therefore be hereby resolved that the town board of the town of Walker hereby appoints William Wilson to the position of part-time police officer to serve in said capacity in the town of Walker Police Department at the starting hourly rate of $28.10, effective as of September 5th, 2024, pending receipt of satisfactory background check and the submission to and approval by the Orange County Department of Human Resources, Civil Service Department for all appropriate documentation.
So move.
Second. Yep.
Mr. Coyne,
Yes.
Mr. Valentin is absent, Mr. Vanella,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes, ma'am.
Supervisor Serrano.
Yes. Thank you. Just on the record, Mr. Valentin did tell me he was not gonna be here today, so he's not here. Next, I'm breaking the agenda. We got a visitor here today, and he came here to speak to us, and I think he has a little present for us, so Tony Vader, Mike.
Thank you. Good. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor, and I'm happy to be here. A couple of years ago, I proposed a municipal grant program in Orange County. I'm very proud to say that after representing the town of Walk Hill for 27 years, it got approved. You guys have been great in taking advantage of it. I know last year we did speed humps. And throughout, I'm not sure all the areas that you covered, but this year you submitted again. I'm very proud to say that you've been approved. And I'm here tonight to present you with a check of $4,999 for your solar stop signs. And maybe you can talk a little bit about it. I'm not quite sure where they're going or.
Okay.
Can I talk to God?
First of all, thank you. Much appreciate the support that you've given the town, your town. Like I've always said, you've been a great supporter of the town. You live here and you've always done good for us, and we are very grateful, really appreciate what you've done for us. Councilman Coyne is the one that pushed for the sign, so I'll let him elaborate on it.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. And, you know, Mike, you've always been great to us and great for the town. Anything we ask for, you come through. I really appreciate it. These two signs are gonna go at the intersection of Stage Road and Stony Ford Road. And I know people who don't realize how important those stop signs are. They kind of look like the they're in nowhere, like they don't belong. But believe you me, they exist because a lot of people come down Stony Ford Road heading towards Stage, and they wind up in the gentleman's front lawn. He's taken out trees, they've taken out the stone pillar for the mailbox, and it happens like every couple of years. So it's not something new. And these stop signs, with the money you provide, they're gonna, like you said, be solar and light up. So this way at, midnight, 2 a.m, somebody can see them, that they're actually there. And I really, it's gonna save someone's life, because sooner or later, someone's not gonna make it in the accident, you know what I mean? So I really, really appreciate the money, and thank you again.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'm gonna come up. Okay, next we'll have councilman comments. We'll start with Ward 1. Councilman Cohen.
Okay, I'll start with highway. A lot of paving and more paving and more paving. I read out the schedule in the beginning of the spring, very, very aggressive schedule, a lot of roads to be paved. We made our way through it for the most part. We started to do Silver Lake Scotchtown Road and prep that road to be paved. All the catch basins have been repaired / put in proper place. Milling will start next Wednesday, and then the following week, the paving will happen. That is a long stretch of road. It is a busy road. If you can, for the next couple of weeks, starting next Wednesday, use a different route. But nonetheless, that road is desperately needed to be done, and we're gonna get that done. So moving on though, since we're a little ahead of schedule, a couple of other things that we were looking to do. We received grant money from Senator Skoufis to create the pathway. We did get that money, the walking trail down in Circleville Park. So I believe that we can get that done this summer / fall. So that'll be good. Also, I know that, and you know what, Steve, I'll let you elaborate on this, but it's part of paving. We're gonna repave through the golf course, the path for the golf carts. So I know Steve was pushing for that, and so that's come through. As far as Veteran Affairs, just a quick update on the park, the Memorial Park. We are still looking to put one more monument in the park, 9/11 Memorial. Stay tuned for that. Now that the wall is done and a lot of heavy lifting has been completed, I'm gonna start to turn my attention to something I talked to Senator Skoufis about, and something I've been kind of looking into and kind of trying to get done, but now I can really sink my teeth into it, and that's getting a veterans hall here in town. And that will also house American Legion Post 1181. That's something that they really don't have a home right now, and they meet in our community center. I think it's important that they have a home, kitchen, a hall, someplace where they can all gather and enjoy that camaraderie that holds them together. So the senator was very open to the idea. Started looking for some properties, seeing what's gonna cost what. So again, stay tuned for that. That's gonna be a heavy lift, but it's time. And that's really all I have. Oh, actually, 9/11, the ceremony will be on 9/11, which is a Wednesday this year at 6 o'clock, right down at the Veterans Memorial Park. That's where we read all the names of the people who passed on that day from Orange County. And really comments, not much to say other than school's starting soon. That means Councilman Johnson will begin to get cranky. But keep that in mind when you're driving. We're not gonna see you again until after school starts, so just keep in mind those big buses driving and picking up kids, and be safe, that's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Councilman Manella.
Well, usually short and sweet, I'm not gonna change my pattern. So golf news. Golf camp has ended, but it was a huge success. Month of July and August were completely full for all the kids that attended. All the slots were full, that is. As Councilman Coyne had said about paving, the whole idea is to widen the path and make it more of a path so there's less problems with the golf course with when they get wet conditions. So we're looking forward to that being done. Changing from that, September is right around the corner. Kids are going back to school, so be aware of school buses, kids getting on and off. And September is going to be National Grandparent Day. So that's it.
Thank you. Councilman Johnson.
Thank you, Supervisor. Let me start with the building department. This is actually for the month of June. You guys probably didn't notice, but the last two meetings I was unable to attend in July or in June. My daughter was graduating from high school, so that was at 7 o'clock at Pine Bush. So I apologize that I wasn't here for that. So I'm going to read those minutes. And then last month in July, we were actually away. It was the only time the family could be together. So I apologize for missing those two meetings. But so for the month of June, there was 103 permits issued, certificates were 100, the fees collected were $81,273, addressed 67 complaints, carried out 1,069 inspections. That's a great job by that crew, they do fine work. The water and sewer. So the water tank rehabilitation project, you probably heard me mention before, is still ongoing with no issues. Good news, the Inwood Road tank is done and is actually going to be put back in service shortly. The Tower Drive tank will be starting probably within this week or so, and if all goes well, we'll be done within a month or month and a half. The well rehabilitation and redevelopment project is at the Braeside and Casuga wells is ongoing. It should take about a month or so to complete. And we are actually keeping the adjoining wells next to the wells that we'll be having offline during this process to get the most effective redevelopment of the wells that we're doing. It basically cleans the screen out so waters can flow into the well at a faster rate by doing this. So you just get more yield. There were 3 fire hydrants that were damaged and needed to be replaced. And we had, let's see, no real issues with water levels so far this summer. If you remember last year and the year before, we were in like a drought situation. We had to put in water restrictions and so forth. No issues this year, obviously, because we get like a tremendous amount of precipitation all the time. So that's a good thing for us because we rely on groundwater for the water supply for the town. So they're in great shape. The new controls for the wastewater treatment plant have been installed. They're up and running. And the good news is there's actually almost no issues at all, which is kind of crazy when you think about new software being implemented as well as hardware. And this is good because it provides much better monitoring capabilities of the water system that we have to follow and maintain. The water meter upgrade project has been put out to bid. They should be back and bids opened by the 5th of September and awarded shortly thereafter. And this is to change out all the water meters within the town. And that is because many of the meters are getting close to their lifespan, and they need to be upgraded. And this will be a smart meter system, so it's not like people have to come around and read your meter. It'll be able to be done with a cell phone through a signal. The state and federal mandated lead line service inventory, you heard me mention previously, is still ongoing. The crews are out knocking on doors and scheduling appointments. At this time, we're really focusing on houses built before 68 when they would have possibly used lead pipes and stuff and sections of lead within the water distribution. The wastewater treatment plant upgrade project is on schedule. The clarifier 1 has been completed, actually 2 has been, the first clarifier has been completed 2 weeks ago and is back online already and working. The second one is now being taken down to be rebuilt and should be back on by the end of December or much shortly thereafter. And this is a much needed project that we had to do. As you know, most of our infrastructure is from the mid-80s. So anything that's been in service that runs 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, that's 30, 40 years old is obviously, getting to the point where it needs a lot of work and replacement. Some other good news, last month, the DEC came with their annual inspection. The report was delivered last week to the town, and it's actually excellent with no issues. And this, is accomplishment and a tribute to the crews, the guys and the gals that work in the water and sewer department. They take great pride in their job and what they do, and they keep everything in tip-top shape. So, shout out to them. Comments? Yes, school is starting, which is good for me because, I can get paid again. That's much needed after 2 months with no income. But I'm not sour. I can't wait to meet the kids and, make their lives better. And hopefully, when I'm old in a nursing home and they change my diapers, I'll remember that I was the favorite teacher they ever had. So that's it. Thank you.
Wow, that was, wow. Johnson, one of a kind. Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. Last night, the beginning of August, when we had a national night out, we canceled and we had a new day, which I believe was, August 13th, and we had it, great success, packed. We had, I would think we had over close to 1,500 to 2,000 people there. We got a visit from a helicopter, which is the staff flight that came, I believe it was from Westchester, and they stopped in. Overall, it was a good night. Everybody showed up. The governor's office came by. It was a good night. Thanks to the Town of Walker Police Department for doing a great job putting that together. But still, no dunk tank. Would have been a great night for a dunk tank. Don't you think that, Deputy Chief? Okay. Coming up, we do have our Community Day on September 21st. We're going to have a car show, pony rides, entertainment, with music and dance, food trucks, vendors. It should be a good day. It'll be at the Galleria Macy's parking lot from 12 to 5. We appreciate everybody to come out. Next Wednesday, we will be having a public hearing to amend our food truck, and I will let our town attorney elaborate on that.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Very briefly, the current peddlers and solicitors law article relating to food trucks allows vendors to get up to 4 permits per year to do to sell food from their trucks within the town, whether they're at private events or at town sponsored events. In considering this, the town board has rethought their position and has decided that the events that are sponsored by the town, like the upcoming Community Day and some of the other things, those shouldn't count against the total number of permits a particular food truck could get in each calendar year. So, for example, if the town has 4 events, the board is considering changing the law so they can do the town events and still do 4 other private type events during a particular year. just to give those vendors the opportunity to do other things and also service the town events, because we like to encourage more vendors at town events than less vendors. So because of certain events that are coming up, we want to see if we can get the law amended prior to the next set of town events coming up, to give them the chance to work at those and still keep doing some business elsewhere in town. Public hearing is going to be next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. We usually have the work sessions in the supervisor's conference room. If there's a lot of people who want to be heard on that particular public hearing, we can always try to come in here for that portion of the meeting. And everyone who, just like any public hearing, anyone who wants to have a chance to speak and tell the board their feelings and opinions on the proposed change in local law, they will have the chance to do so. That's next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. The intent, I believe, is to vote on the measure that evening unless something comes up at the public hearing that would give the town board pause. So that's the plan. We're doing it, letting you all know again, the notice has already been published, but because it's not on a regular last Thursday of the month kind of thing, in case anybody who's listening at home tonight, or any of you folks that are here, you want to come and talk about it or see the public hearing, we'll be doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Frank. A couple of things, a reminder, starting with Tuesday, September 3rd, Town Hall, Building A here will go back to regular business hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. My comments, I want everyone to be safe. School is starting, kids will be out, school buses. Before we move on to our next comments, I would like to introduce Mr. John Perino, who's on the Middletown School Board, who wants to give some information to the town and to the board. Mr. Perino?
Thank you, Supervisor Serrano. Members of the council, thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. Mr. Vanilla is my council person. I'm on Sunrise Drive. Thank you for your service. Just as a bit of introduction, I'm the liaison along with Denise Romero for the Middletown School District of the town of Waukegan. Bit of information. Lifelong resident, 55 years in the same home. Member of a number of community organizations in the community. You know, many times we hear the few negatives, but we don't hear the positives. So I'm going to be positive this evening. Supervisor Serrano is always there for the district when needed. We have town SROs in Maple Hill, Carter, and Monhegan under the direction of Chief Herman. They build an excellent relationship with our students in the district. Silver Lake Fire Department, always there when needed. Commissioner of Public Works, Lou Ingracia. He keeps the streets and roads passable in the winter and paved in the summer. Another positive. I've always felt that you cannot have an excellent school district without an excellent community. I believe we do have an excellent district, and the town of Waukegan is an excellent place to raise a family. With our summer graduation rate, we are now up to 93%. Over 51% of our student population comes from the town of Waukegan. I'd like to extend an invitation to the council members and the town officials. Friday, August 30th at 7:30. We are going to have a welcome back breakfast at the Middletown High School in the parking lot. You're very, very welcome to attend that breakfast, and please do so if you can. Just to get it personal for one moment, I'd like to praise the building department, especially Grace Ferguson. We're doing a bit of work around our home, and she's walking me through the permit applications, which can be pretty daunting if you don't have somebody who actually knows the whole system. So with that, I have some background information, and I put my card on the information on the folders. Please feel free to pick up one, and if your constituents have any questions, feel free to direct them to me, and I can point them hopefully in the right direction. I put my personal phone number down. Don't be afraid to call me if you have any questions. Thank you. I'm going to leave these for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Serrano.
I just want to add, Mr. Perino, he was one of lifelong residents of, the area. And he was one of the first Little Leaguers in the city of Middletown. That was a while ago, we celebrated you, but he was an original Little Leaguer in the city of Middletown when they started. I'm not gonna say the date because, all right?
Right, so we're still doing public participation, so is there anyone else from the public that would like to come up and speak?
We need to get the reports from the deputy chief and the clerk, their comments, or?
Well, didn't we just have public, that was for the meeting one. On agenda items, what?
Right, but usually we go to the side tables before we do the second round of public comment.
Okay, my mistake. Well, I guess we have the deputy chief. Are you good to go?
I'm good to go, sir, but I'll yield my time right now to the town clerk and I'll go after her if you don't mind.
Okay, Mercedes, it's all you, our town clerk.
Mine is nice, quick and sweet. On behalf of the town clerk, Luis Ingracia, and her staff, we just want to be extremely thankful to everyone that has donated school supplies for the children in the area. It's a great help, it's well needed, and still open if you want to bring some more. It's thank you so much.
Thank you. Deputy.
Thank you. The staffing of the department is currently at 54 sworn full-time staff. The arrest this year, to date are up 37%. 793 for 2024 versus 575 for 2023. Parking summonses are up 150%. 2,431 for 2024 versus 969 for 2023. The Police Community Council, the next Town of Walk Hill Police Community Council meeting will be held on Thursday, September 5th. In lieu of the meeting, there will be a community barbecue. The barbecue will be held at the Town of Walk Hill Community Center. Police Youth Coalition, the next Youth Coalition meeting will be held on Tuesday, September 17th at 7 p.m. And the Mary Olson Annual Cops versus Youth Softball game is scheduled for Saturday, August 24th at 5 p.m. at the Scotchtown Little League Field. I know the town supervisor mentioned about National Night Out. This year's event was held on August 13th and was one of our most successful ever. We thank all of those who participated in our 22nd annual event, and we look forward to seeing everyone again next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Spano. And as you mentioned, some great events there, so hopefully everyone can come out to those. And now we will move to public participation. I think I got this. It's the last thing on the agenda. So It's 3 minutes each, anything at all, doesn't have to be on the agenda, anything you'd like to discuss, we're here to listen. So anyone from the public? There's like 400 people here, guys, nobody wants to speak, I can't believe it. Either we're doing a great job or we're really doing a bad job, I don't know. Really, nobody wants to say, come on, Jim, come
I
on.
have a question.
I'll go, Mr. Johnson, I'll go see if the supervisor has anything else while you're doing this.
Okay, thank you.
State your name, speak clearly into the microphone. Okay, so my name is Gina Crawford. You mentioned the lead piping, you're gonna be inspecting homes, is that?
Yeah, it's a lead line service, it's the service line, basically, like a small piece. So they're doing all the ones, and again, it was pre-78, I think, they're looking at those homes first.
At whose expense, does the homeowner?
No, it's, we're taking care of that, we're basically coming in and looking, you can actually take a picture of the line coming to your meter. And actually send them right to the water department, you can email them, so they don't even have to come.
Okay.
You know what I mean, so if you do have any piece that could have lead within it, we wanna get those replaced. That's it.
Okay. I came in a little late, I'm
Thanks,
sorry about that. Just to add to that, we have to have those things done by October or something.
Yes, this fall.
And I was on a Zoom meeting yesterday, we were having a conversation about that. We are, the water department is ahead, they do have an iPad that they're going around doing this, so I believe they're more than halfway done checking the pipes that they believe might be lead. Where do we, are we still in public participation? Okay,
Mr. Supervisor, there was one more thing. We did schedule a public hearing for the September meeting for the updates to the MS4.
yes,
So that'll also, at the September meeting, there's been, the state has enacted some updated MS4, our stormwater regulations, and the town code has to be updated. So we've scheduled a public hearing to do that. Copies of that local law are gonna be put up on the website, so there'll be plenty of time for everybody for the September meeting to take a look at that and be ready with any questions. Thank you.
Also, since we're mentioning public hearings, just to throw out there that the master plan review committee public hearing is still open. We did it, I think, three months ago now, it's been open, so if you have comments or concerns, you don't want to come to a meeting or a work session, you can certainly just email them in and, I'll make sure that they get to the committee and then to this board. Because at some point, we're gonna probably want to move forward with adopting some portions of that very shortly, so we want to make sure everybody's had a chance to review and check them out.
okay,
Thanks.
thank you. One last thing I want to say in regards to the Middletown School District, they allow us to host, they host the Junior Police Academy, which we brought back 2 years ago, and one of the things we're looking at, I don't know if you're aware, Mr. Carino, of creating a Junior Police Academy type of program year round at one of the schools. So it's still very new, very young, might not happen this year. I'm speaking with the officers involved and, it's, if you ever been to one of those Junior Police Academies graduation, seeing those young men and women, kids, our police department does a great job with them and they love it. Those kids love it. And you know what? Regardless what we do going forward, that program has paid off. As we have saved a life, one of those kids have saved a life, and they have also provided first aid to one of their friends when they were injured. So the program is paying off. I will continue with public participation. Anyone else? Please state your name.
Hello, my name is Deanna Casella. Our town supervisor knows me as Murphy's mom. When he was out campaigning, he met us and we live in the Washington Heights neighborhood. Particularly Electric Avenue and the cross streets. There are several people blowing the stop signs on Electric. And there are people that speed up and down Watkins Avenue. And I'm asking the town to consider dropping the speed limit. from 30 to 20, because particularly Watkins Avenue, it's a dead end. And there, people work at 233 Watkins in a program for, mentally challenged. These people happen to speed down the road. My neighbors and I have talked, and we think that 20 is more than enough, because it's about a quarter of a mile long. Where are you going? But also, please take a look at that entire neighborhood and see that there have been other accidents. And that more stop signs need to be put in, and or speed bumps. As well as speed limit signs, because I've lived in that neighborhood, I was counting it up while I was in the parking lot, 26 years. I lived there as a child, and I bought a house as an adult because it was a great neighborhood to live in. And I'd like to continue to see it be great and welcome more families. There are a few homes for sale. So thank you for your time and
How's
consideration.
Murphy?
Murphy's okay.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Anyone else? Anyone on Zoom?
Backing off. Hi, good evening. My name is Christina McClary. I live in Circleville, New York. Sort of to piggyback. First, I want to say, you're just wonderful, and I appreciate your information and your deliverance. Just really, it feels great to hear that information. Thank you so much. I wanted to say that off 302, cars are speeding up and down and up and down. No regard for the school zone posts, the speed limits. Cars are sort of driving in front of other cars at a very high speed. About a year and a half ago, a young kid was on his cell phone speeding, and he drove into our driveway, caused a lot of damage to the driveway. Thank God he was okay. My husband and I assisted him, make sure that he was well. But something has to be done, because drivers are treating it like it's a speedway. They have no regard for the roads, and it's scary. We have children that live around here, the sidewalk is not really walkable, but we do have people that walk alongside the 302. They jog, they walk their dogs, and they should be able to do that without having to, sort of look out, be afraid to do that. Another question I had was, everywhere I've lived, I've always participated in boards, meetings. I've been elected. I've been a president of a board. I've been a vice president, secretary. And my family and I, we've lived up here for about maybe 14 years. And I want to know, how can I get involved? I want to be involved in some way, volunteering. And it's needed. I also want to help with at-risk children. I'm a substitute teacher. I'm a teacher who's taught for 12 years, solid teaching experience. I substitute for the Pine Bluff School District when I can, but I want to work with children who are at risk in some way. Getting them off the streets, getting them involved in after-school programs, sports, writing workshops, whatever it is. Let me know how I can participate. I am a great resource, and it's needed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will tell you that if you want to volunteer, you can come to my office, speak to Darlene, my assistant, and she'd be more than happy to put you on the mailing list whenever we have events, and we could definitely use volunteers.
Sounds
In
phenomenal.
regards to the youth, see that young lady over there in the back, Rosie? That is our youth coordinator with the police department. She does a tremendous job. She's always looking for help, and I'm telling you, that's good to go. As for the school, there's a gentleman right there, Mr. Perino, who I've known for years, and solid. So
Great.
we take all the help.
Sounds
Appreciate
great.
it.
Thank you.
One thing,
One thing about-
just
yeah,
for
302.
clarity, 302 is a state road. The town, unfortunately, we do not have jurisdiction for that. Wow. It's something to discuss with our state representatives. 302 has been a constant, is it fair to say it's been a constant point of discussion with our state leaders and asking for reductions. Speed limits, traffic control devices. If, believe me, I've been representing this board for many years. If we had our way, there would be a lot more stop intersections. There'd be a
Absolutely.
lot of things going on 302. Unfortunately, the town can't do it. Just so letting you know, your points are well taken. Not discounting them at all. I live near there too. I
Yeah.
agree. I live in town of Navigating, but I'm through Pine Bush all the time.
Sure.
But I'm in that school district. But this board can't do anything directly. We always have conversations with the state representatives about it and with DOT. And we know about it, we're trying. Just to let you know.
We've had reached out to DOT over the last 2 years on different places in the town that we feel that the zone might be. The road might benefit from a lower speed limit and no, it's been, no. So
Wow,
it's
That's
unfortunate.
terrible.
New York State does not allow towns who have less than 50,000 residents change their speed limits on
Wow.
any of their roads. But we've tried.
Yeah,
We have
thank you.
tried. So
Thank you.
we have to be a little bit more creative with our roads. With the state roads and county roads, we have to get permission if we want to do anything.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Okay. That being said, please, be careful out there. Next time we meet, school has started. And I know everyone's gonna be busy the next 2 weekends. Have a happy Labor Day. And enjoy what's left of this nice summer. Beautiful weather today. Motion to adjourn.